Hello and welcome, friends. Welcome to my channel. This is Youth Corner, and today it's all about managing information. This is part two of the series that I started last week. As you can see, your girl is all natural. Yeah, I had to give the weave a break a bit, but as you can see, the jababs is real, guys. Please give me tips on how to manage the jababs. All right. All right, without further ado, let's move on to today's topic. Drum roll. Managing information. Now, as I said and emphasized last week, that we constantly have information being thrown at us. And if you can get the basics right, you will be a winner in communicating. All right, you'll be a winner at listening, you'll be a winner at speaking, at reading, at writing. I tell you, you will just be on fire. All right, so today I'm speaking about reading and writing, and I've written down some tips for you. All right, so the one basic skill that you need, regardless of whatever you're handling, whatever it is you're studying, is the ability to handle information. And if you have an understanding of reading, writing, listening, you will communicate better as a person, as I had emphasized. Now, let's move on to reading. All right. How many of you think that you are efficient readers? Raise your hands. Not many, right? I know, because I used to think that I'm an efficient reader until I realized that actually, no, sister girl, you are not. There's always room for improvement. Okay, there are a few basic skills that one needs to master in order to become an efficient reader as well as a writer. Okay, so one of the first few things is that when you read, especially if you are in high school or in university, there is a lot of stuff to read and to prepare. All right, so in order to do that efficiently, if you've got like a 21-page document, you need to be able to look at that and come out with the main theme, and come out with the main ideas, and come out with what exactly this person is trying to say to you. So how do you do that? You must be able to break it down into compartments. All right, let's say it is a 21 page or 30 page journal article. It's up to you to take that. It's up to you to then read through it, read the titles. You know how they have subtitles and main headings and so forth. Read that, understand it, and try and understand, okay, how do you understand it? Let me start there. Right, so you read, say, one page, right? It's a whole idea. You then ask yourself, what are they trying to say? All right, and what you do is you take the keywords, you draft it down, and then you say, okay, that's what this particular page is trying to say. You move on and you read the next heading, and you try and figure out what they're trying to say there. At the end of that article or document, what you then do is you compile all the notes that you've made and try and see if it makes sense, right? So you've summarized here, you've summarized that. Try and see if it makes sense and find the deeper meaning from all of those components of the article. That's the first thing that I need you to do. And ask yourself, okay, so what is the core idea here? If it's a book, if it's an article, what is the idea here? What are they trying to sell to me? Ask yourself, what is in it for me, basically, right? So the other thing that you need to ask yourself as you're going through it is, what are some of the the new ideas? Is this a new concept that they're presenting, or is it something that has actually been in existence for a while? For example, if it is studies on HIV, right, is what they're saying in that particular page contrary to what is out there in the market? Is it a new study, or are they just topping up on existing data? All right, and that way you'll be able to get the main idea and be able to use those references to support your argument, whatever your argument is. Now let us move on to writing. Okay, so with writing, it's very important to, first of all, plan, and plan. Friends, I promise you, every single successful writer out there knows that in order to be a great writer, academically or not, you need to plan. Even for me, like, I don't just come here and, speak from my head without thinking and planning on what I actually want to say to you, because your time is valuable to me. Every single time that you spend, this time you could have been doing something else. So I need to plan, all right? And part of planning, so what you simply do is you take a page, take a highlighter or Koki, whatever you have, and you draw a circle in the middle. And then you say, okay, this is my main topic. Let's say coronavirus. Place it there, coronavirus. And then you say, okay, so what exactly do I want to say? Which angle do I want to approach of coronavirus? Do I want to approach the healthcare perspective? That is one leg. You draw a spider leg and you say healthcare worker perspective. Another perspective is one, lockdown. That's another perspective. Another perspective is the stats, the mortality rates and so forth. How it's affecting the elderly versus younger people. That's another leg. That's another leg. Once you've drafted those legs, then you're like, okay, let's do a quick run through on the internet out of for each and every spider leg that you've drafted. And you say, okay, how much data is there on the internet right now, on academic journals and books about the virus, and what are they saying? And then you look, okay, mortality rate, what are they saying about mortality rate? Healthcare workers, what are they saying about healthcare workers? The lockdown, what are they saying? And then you take the data that has, the subject or the angle that has the most data to support your argument. Remember, you are arguing through your paper, right? That's what you are doing, and you are presenting a perspective that is either new or you are adding on to existing data. So that is how you go about planning, all right? So you sit back once you've planned and you have your spider web and you've looked at the market and you're like, okay, so this is what they're saying more or less. Then you say, okay, so what exactly do I want to say? What exactly do I want to add to this whole conversation? And how do you do that, friends? You do that by simply saying to yourself, okay, how do I want to add? How do I want to end this? Sit back. If I was to end with a bam, what is my concluding remarks? And you start with that. I know people who start with their conclusions before they write the body and the intro of their papers or thesis, whatever the case may be. It's really fine. It's up to you how you want to do it. But the important thing is to plan and say, okay, ultimately, what am I saying? It's very important, friends, to remember that at the end, when you conclude, you are not concluding with new information. You are writing out your new information from the beginning all the way through the body. By the time you get to your conclusion, you are now summarizing what you have already said in the first few chapters, okay? Or the first few, what do they call it? Paragraphs and so forth of your paper, right? That's what you were doing. Very, very important. Write simply. Guys, there is nothing as annoying as reading a paper where someone has gone around to Mozambique from Cape Town to Joburg when they could have just gone to Joburg straight. Like, there is nothing as annoying as that. So keep your sentences short, all right? Write legibly, keep your sentences short. Use softwares and tools like Grammarly. I have Grammarly on my Google on my laptop as well as on my phone, because it helps with grammar, but it also helps shorten your sentences. It helps you get to the point much quicker than you would have if you didn't have the support. We all need writing support, all right? So keep your sentences short and then ask yourself, okay, now that I've written the piece, I know the feeling of finishing a piece and you're like, yo, I feel so much better, and you just want to submit. Red flags. Do not submit. Ultimately, try to write your paper when you still have time, all right? When you still at least have 2-3 days to review and edit it. If you can give yourself a week, it's even better. Like, it's even better. What you do is you write your paper, you finish it, then you leave it. Right? And you come back the next day or a few hours later with a fresh pair of eyes, right? Fresh pair of eyes, and you read it from start all the way to finish and check if it's coherent, if it makes sense, if everything flows into the other. So if you started with one must flow into two. If you started with two must flow into three, and so forth, right? Are we together? Are we together? Awesome. So you then continue then. So now you've reread it. And now if you have access to a writing center, I know many universities have writing centers. Take it to the writing center and say, hey guys, I've written this paper, please have a look. And guys, when you take it to a writing center, be humble. Know that it may come back and you may have to rewrite like 50-60% of the whole thing, because these are experts. They've been writing longer, they know better. They're not 100% perfect, but they know better. So when they guide you and say, okay, try this, try that, it's because they know it works, right? So very important to take it to a writing center. And also it's very important that, good writers are readers. You cannot become a good writer if you do not know how to read. So very important, friends, learn how to read. Read more for leisure, read more for academic purposes, read more even the news, so that when you come with your argument, you are arguing from a place of knowledge. There is nothing as appalling as reading a piece of paper where the person sounds like they live in a cave somewhere. They're referencing, using information that is old, that is outdated. You're busy telling us to fetch water from a community tap when we now in 2020 have water from our own taps at home. So things like that, it's very important to read and try and keep abreast of what is happening in your field. All right, friends, that is all for this video. I'll record another one shortly where I move on to writing tips for in terms of note taking, writing comprehensive notes in class, the do's and the don'ts for you. All right. Well, please don't forget to like my page, subscribe, and also follow me on socials. I'm on Instagram, I am on Twitter, I am on Facebook. All of that is detailed below on this video. Thank you so much, and please stay safe. Cheers. Bye.